For Jamie Vardy, 24, remember, last term. Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher have been interested spectators watching that tonight. What do you think Claudio Ranieri will have made of that, watching on?
The same as me. They're talking about the high intensity they need to put into the game. I mean, Leicester have won that game. Listen, they were brilliant, absolutely superb they were tonight. But they've won the game by energy, closing people down, being horrible, being difficult to play against. That's not about tactics, that's not about having great players, that's about just having something inside you. So it is right that you ask them questions, and Jeff asked those questions, because it wasn't all of a sudden we've seen 11 fantastic footballers. We've just seen a team fully committed. And I've been watching football for a very, very long time. And I don't think I've ever seen a game of football where two teams should come off the pitch and hang their heads in shame. Liverpool for how bad they were, and Leicester for how good they were on the back of how poor they've been, just through effort and commitment. But, I mean, you've seen Jamie Vardy on the pitches before actually going down on the floor, almost like it was a massive game for them. Exhausted, but more relief. They'd got that win because they've been battered, and I've been a big part of that. We have tonight, and that still doesn't change it for me. What we've said about them, Leicester tonight, in some ways it may even reinforce it, that we said they haven't done enough for Claudio Ranieri. And Jeff was right, whatever they did tonight, they're going to get criticism for how it's come across. But from their point of view, all they should be caring about now, and that club, the owners, the manager, Shakespeare, is staying in the Premier League. And that gives them a great opportunity. If they can build on that and provide those performances. Because I said after the Man United game, new manager at Swansea, new manager at Hull, what they've come in and done is made them really difficult to beat and played counter-attack. They have the players to do that. Be aggressive. And in that man there, they got one of the quickest players in the league. And I must say, Liverpool played right into the hands.
These stats, I mean, as Jeff said, how do you explain the fact that with a new manager, he can suddenly run more, the highest number of sprints in a game?
Look, I think first thing to say is that he made a point there, it's a good one. Liverpool played right into his hands. What teams have done all season in terms of denying him the space behind, going deep? Liverpool, they split the full-backs. They left a very slow centre-back on the left-hand side in Lucas Leiva, not his fault, exposed, and actually had the space to run into. Some of the problems he's had this season has been where he actually hasn't had the space to run into. That's the first thing that needs to be said. He was encouraged by the space that was given to him, which was poor by Liverpool, because they forgot how teams had played against against Leicester this season.
So Leicester better tactically then?
No, I think Liverpool were poor. I think from a tactical point of view, look, there's no doubt that they were getting back into shape. Mahrez getting back in on that right-hand side. They worked harder. They just worked harder, simple as that. I mean, look, them two lads that just did the interview, I know them very well. They're good lads. I mentioned 2 or 3 weeks ago that Jamie Vardy, I felt needed to get back to being a non-league centre-forward. He's an instinctive player. When he thinks too much and starts to, I don't know, think too much. He's an instinctive player. Chase the ball down, hunt it down, make runs in behind, be nasty, be a handful, be aggressive. Don't try and complicate your game. Get across the near post, be a threat in the box. He's good in the air for his size. And to be honest with you, he's a big handful, and he did that tonight. That's all I think Jamie Vardy can do. Same with Danny Drinkwater, the way he's been playing in midfield. You're not fierce spirit for the game that they've showed in the last 18 months, and it's deserted them in this last 3 or 4 months. And I think part of it has been down to confidence. They've had sandbags in the legs, I mentioned it before the game, because of the weight of it. Part of it is because there's something definitely been going on with the manager in terms of what's been going on behind the scenes. There is no smoke without fire. Tonight is a bad result for the traditionalists in the game who think that, you know, you should stick with the manager. It's a shot in the arm for the sort of, if you like, the idea that, oh, you should change coach. It's a little bit too early to decide on either front, to be honest with you. But in terms of, there'll be people tonight saying, see, you know, the world of business, of football, you've got to be brutal, you've got to be clinical. And then there'll be people who saying, that was a poor result tonight for the fact that, you should have been given to the end of the season. My view on it tonight is that was a completely different level of performance. Our eyes don't lie. Forget stats. I mean, we can look at stats and we sometimes use them to support us, and it does support us in certain occasions. Just from the very first minute of the match, the Manchester United match the other week, which was a very similar type of game in the sense there was no atmosphere in the stadium, the spirit of those Leicester players, they were walking around the pitch. They were walking. They never once, in any point in that game tonight, walked. They were at it all night, every single one of them. And the difference, I have no idea. I don't understand this sort of like switching on the tap. You know, the idea that one day you can work hard, the next day you don't. I do get the confidence thing. I do get the idea of being weighed down. But I don't get this huge shift that we've seen in this last 3 days. You know, Craig Shakespeare's not a magician. He's not been able to, in 2 or 3 days, just all of a sudden do that. You know, he might be able to work on his players and be able to influence them over a long period of time, but not in 3 days. No coach can work and do anything in 3 days that can make your players do that. That's the players. The players have made that decision tonight, have to say, with huge encouragement from a Liverpool team who actually exposed themselves like you shouldn't do against Leicester.
Well, typified